elementary and middle school, I was bullied for my appearance. I was bullied for my body type, my acne, and my monoliths. They implied that my forehead was equivalent to the bottom of a crunch bar, that I could never be successful because I was too short, and that my body was shaped weirdly. They used to make fun of my eyes, saying I could only see wide angles, and second-guessed my being Filipino. Being asked as a little kid on why I didn't have a crease on my eyelids, or the constant questions on my ethnicity, were some dreadful memories that haunted me daily. Being bullied for the vast majority of my life, I struggled with trying to identify as a beautiful Filipina American. I was convinced that I wasn't beautiful because I didn't attain any of the same features as Filipina celebrities. Such a struggle of frustration, pain, and insecurity turned into long nights of wondering if whether my life was worth it. I wondered whether things would ever get better. My confidence had reached its lowest points, and I had looked into the mirror so many times and wondered what it would be like to have clear skin, to have a slim and tall body, to be pale, to be seen as what was beautiful. I had become susceptible to the notion that my outer appearance defined me, and from there, my life spiraled into this ongoing cycle of trying to be someone I am not, trying to fit into the same conventional image I could never fall into. My parents emigrated from Mabalacat, a third-class city in Pampanga, Philippines, and have graciously shown me the beauty in my culture. Being Filipina is the definition of a strong, hardworking, independent, and devoted woman. But rarely do those attributes define a Filipina's beauty and self-worth. The brutal truth is that Asian women are not judged by the content of their character, but through their outer appearance, and grow up being fed messages of what they should look like. Despite having loving and caring parents, I always wondered why, as a little kid, they warned me not to stay out in the sun, that I needed to drink lots of milk and get lots of sleep in order to grow taller, that I needed to pinch the bridge of my nose to make it more narrow. As I grew older, I started to recognize the truth behind those sayings. My parents grew up hearing the same things, that the ideal woman is tall, skinny, and pale, that her worth is defined through her outer appearance and not the content of her character. They were so conditioned by this that they imposed these same standards upon me. In addition to receiving these messages at home, I was also constantly seeing these images on TV and social media. When looking at all of the celebrities in Hollywood, we see these beautiful white people that make up the majority of the population, and Asians only being 5% of that population. Within that 5%, Asians are not fully represented of what all Asians across the world look like, but what they want them to look like. Miss Universe is a platform that is supposed to express cultural diversity and beauty within, and yet its main focal point has been the obsession in Eurocentric characteristics. There's this ongoing dilemma in Asia where Miss Universe representatives generally all look the same. These contestants are typically half white. The beauty standards of this pageant go to follow. Number 1, have semi-Caucasian features, preferably attaining that slim nose and big eyes. Number 2, have light skin. And number 3, be tall. Asians are so obsessed with the idea of having to strive towards attaining these Caucasian features that it is embedded within everything. For example, Miss Philippines, Miss Thailand, and Miss Singapore all have reported biracial contestants. Why is it that Asian culture is so obsessed with the idea of attaining Eurocentric features? Specifically being Filipina, why is it embedded in my culture? From 1521 to 1898, the Spanish had colonized the Philippines, and it lasted for over 300 years. Pre-colonial era, The people of this island consisted of small settlements and different tribes and ethnic groups. When Spain colonized this island, it was named after King Philip II, and the people of this island were seen as savages and inferior. The Spanish people wanted to control this island and wanted to assure that the people were civilized. The colonizers had embedded their beliefs and values to them and wanted to give them the image that dark meant poor and light meant rich. Afterward, the Spanish had lost the Spanish-American War of 1898, and America had colonized the Philippines, which lasted for 50 years. It wasn't until July 4th, 1946, where the Philippines was able to gain independence. And at this point, colonizers' beliefs and values had been the basis of Filipino mentality. This colonial mentality has been passed down from generation to generation and is the reasoning for colorism in the Philippines. In order to attain these Eurocentric features, people often resort to plastic surgery. Blepharoplasty, which is double eyelid surgery, is one of the most common procedures done in the world. A monolid, or the epicanthal fold, is when a person does not have a crease on their eyelids. Monolids are common characteristics among children who have Down syndrome. Asians who had monolids were called Mongol idiots, and monolids were perceived as a form of laziness or lethargy. And it wasn't until the mid-1900s where these slurs were seen as invalid and racist. Blepharoplasty is the fourth out of the fifth most common procedures done in the world and is the #1 procedure done in Asia. Blepharoplasty has gone up by 26.3% in the past year and 33.5% in the past 5 years. Other popular surgical procedures in Asia include jaw reduction surgery, double canthoplasty, rhinoplasty, forehead augmentation, hair transplants, and chin augmentation. The homogenization of Asian beauty standards has been embedded throughout all of social media and the beauty industry. The media prioritizes Asian beauty standard stereotypes to having a slim and small face, a slim figure, a V-shaped jawline, big eyes, and clear and flawless skin. Asian beauty prioritizes and promotes skin whitening cleansers, lotions, and soaps, and even what they call skin matching foundation. The actuality in this skin matching foundation is that it is typically only targeted for women with light and paler skin tones, and it discreetly emphasizes their push towards fair and pale skin tones. Because monolids are a common trait in Asia, people use double eyelid tape on a day-to-day basis in order to give the illusion of having bigger eyes. Because of the push in beauty standards in social media, according to the Mental Health Foundation, which accounted for more than 4,000 participants, 1 in 5 adults felt ashamed about their bodies, 34% felt disgusted, and among teenagers, 37% were upset and 31% felt ashamed. These statistics correlate to all beauty standards, and it goes to show that it doesn't matter where beauty standards come from, but the detrimental impact it has on mental health. Within the spreading of these standards comes the positions of responsibility. The media needs to start representing all different types of Asians. There are so many subcategories of Asians that the media only tends to represent Asian women who attain the wanted Caucasian features. Influencers with these huge platforms need to start representing all different types of people, and they need to come to the realization the harm that these unrealistic standards can inflict. It begins with all generations. The future is depending on us to be their leaders, and although it may not seem like a big deal, young kids can comprehend and learn the subject of beauty standards. It begins with you. Tell your friends that they are beautiful and appreciate their flaws. Tell your kids that they are beautiful in every form possible and never, ever let them question their worth. Teach your kids that rather than focusing on the things that they don't have, to focus on the beauty within. Be the change that you want to see and take that extra step that everyone is dreading for. It's time that we start appreciating our flaws rather than opposing the things that we don't have. I was able to overcome these horrendous beauty standards through gaining the realization that beauty standards are always evolving and that these standards are unrealistic and most require the dangers of going under the knife. Rather than depicting the distinctions I had, I started focusing on my flaws through the importance of self-love. Self-love is such a powerful concept that is not as emphasized enough, and that's a dilemma in our society. But it doesn't happen overnight. Although, there are ways that you can inflict self-love, such as giving yourself a positive affirmation every morning, embracing your differences, surrounding yourself with supportive people and eliminating negative energy, or giving up the need to gain approval from others. Individualism is such a powerful concept that is not as emphasized enough, especially in this day of age. We are all born differently, and there's a reason why we are made the way we are. So, express yourself. The power of individualism can boost confidence levels and self-esteem, as well as reducing anxiety. My goal soon is to continue bettering my confidence and teaching others the importance of loving yourself. Let's eliminate not only Asian beauty standards, but beauty standards as a whole, because beauty is expressed within everyone. I also hope to be a role model for my little sister and to teach her and others the importance of loving yourself. Society has done so much progress in eliminating beauty standards, such as having more plus-size models, like Sports Illustrated model Ashley Graham, and through the hashtag Magandang Morenex trend on Twitter, which was created to combat the fixation on fair skin tones and celebrate beautiful brown skin. I am proud to say this. I am 4'10". I have monoliths. I have acne. I don't have a thigh gap. I don't have long legs. I am tanned skin, and I am not perfect. But the one thing that I can guarantee is that I am beautiful. Thank you.